What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing the vote for the worst fight of Cobra Kai Season 3. But before we get into it, make sure you leave a comment down below. Please leave a comment down below. I'd love to compare our predictions, analysis, theories, and thoughts together on anything you'd like to share with me. I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Share this video if you can. I'm sure someone out there would like and need to see this video. And always make sure you subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this channel's content. Check out some of my other videos if you already have not. And now let's get into it. So, what was the worst fight of Cobra Kai Season 3? Check out my last video to see the top 5 best fights. That's my last video. I uploaded it yesterday. That's my last video on the channel. Obviously, you know, it'll be pretty easy to find. It's got a thumbnail, a Hawk beating up Brooks' kid, so I just gave away one of the fights there. But anyway, you know, I wouldn't want to do like the 5 best fights or the 5 worst fights, because truthfully that makes up, you know, the majority of fights in the season. So I'm just going to do one. However, though, I am going to give you 3 candidates for it, and then I'm going to narrow it down to, at the very end, what was truly the worst fight of Cobra Kai Season 3. And it may have to do with like a hyped fight, you know, that turned out to be very disappointing from what we thought it would be. You'll see, though. All right, so here's candidate number 1, the arcade fight. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, oh, this was the main street fight other than the last, you know, brawl at the LaRusso home of the whole season. It was really heartbreaking to see Dimitri Hawk break Dimitri's arm. That was just so horrible. Honestly, I hated that. One of the worst moments of the season. Definitely one of the darkest. You know, this season was a pretty dark season. Season 3 was, and a lot of dark moments. But that one, I think, takes the cake, honestly. It was just such a heartbreaking to see, you know, the cackles and the kids saying, do it, Hawk, do it. Break his arm. They didn't say break his arm, but, you know, that's what they were telling him to do. And it was just so heartbreaking. The whole thing was just horrible, just, you know, made up. You know, it was just a terrible situation. Then see Sam Ball in her mom's arms, that was no good. And then see Dimitri, you know, wailing and crying like that, you know, on the floor. And just the fact that Hawk did it, that was just such a bad scene. And the fight wasn't that good, to be honest with you. A lot of people, you know, might have liked this. The fight just wasn't that good. I mean, you was like, oh, LaRusso's or, you know, the Miyagi-Dos are winning. But, you know, none of those students could have stood a chance, really, against those Cobras. And then finally, the Cobras took advantage when Tori and her gang came up in there. And just what happened was Dimitri was just awful. So that's why this is honestly a candidate for one of the worst fights of Cobra Kai Season 3. Yeah, that's one of them. So, getting into the second candidate for the worst fight of Cobra Kai Season 3, and that would be Tori versus Sam LaRusso House Brawl. Yes, this was just honestly a terrible fight, way goofier than the last. I honestly, it didn't mind the one at the school, like I was saying. Well, I'm not going to say it actually because I don't want to spoil the video. I'm telling y'all to go watch. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing or y'all won't watch it. But this fight was just so goofy. No real moves were even made in the fight. You know, obviously it was a fight, you know, with armor and weapons being used. But yeah, literally no move, no like critical move was made in the fight, but except for Tori smashing Mr. Miyagi's picture, which obviously, you know, Daniel would have flipped out over, and that's probably the main reason he got mad about the whole situation in the first place, honestly, if you think about it. But yeah, it was a bad fight, and then obviously it got broken up really quick. And you know, and when you instill a rivalry that like Cobra Kai has done with between those two characters, and you anticipate the final brawl between them in the season finale's final fight all year long, and then it ends up being like that. That's bad. I mean, that's no good. You know, I mean, it's I don't know even how to say it. It's just not a good fight. Yeah, I mean, there was no good moves made. Like I said, there's really nothing that came out of the actual fighting part. And, you know, like I said, you know, it's one of the biggest rivalries of the show. You know, you can't have somebody looking forward in the anticipation and, you know, building up throughout the whole season and, you know, pressure building up about it, you know, between the two characters. and then you get that. I mean, that's just so disappointing. The fight, was only on screen probably 2 minutes and 15 seconds at the most. So yeah, that would definitely have to be a candidate of the three. And then I'll now do my final candidate for the worst fight of Cobra Kai Season 3. That would be Robbie versus Sean Part 1. Robbie versus Sean and his Thug Gang Part 1. Yeah, that's what it was. That would have to be candidate. That was honestly a terrible fight. Obviously, Robbie got his butt kicked, really. At that point, it was pretty clear that he could beat, both of Sean's, members of his gang, but obviously he was triple teamed, so he didn't have a shot in that fight. And it was sad, honestly, to see that too, because you knew, I mean, it wasn't heartbreaking or anything, obviously, but y'all probably think I'm some kind of snowflake here, but it was no good. You obviously saw that Robbie was going to be in a lot of trouble, and that hinted something to come, which it was great that Robbie finally stood up to Sean finally, and did get his revenge, and did ultimately win that fight. But it just was no good the first fight. I mean, Robbie didn't really even get a move in, and was just dominating. That had you being like, wow, this character is going to have a rough season, and he is in a real bad patch of dirt right now, and is going to be going down the wrong road pretty soon. I mean, it was pretty obvious at that point when that happened. So, yeah, it just was not a good fight. It only lasted maybe 35, 40 seconds long. So, yeah, that would have to be a candidate for one of the worst fight of Cobra Kai Season 3. All right, those are my three candidates. Now I'm going to give you my winner. And the winner of this award would have to be Tori versus Sam. Yeah, worst fight, Cobra Kai Season 3, period, at the LaRusso house. In the LaRusso house brawl. Really wasn't even in the LaRusso house. Yeah, if you know what I mean. It was in Mr. Miyagi's little dojo. Mr. Miyagi's dojo at the LaRusso home. But yeah, it's just, like I said, one of the most anticipated things you anticipate the whole season, and then it turned out like that. Not even a move was really made that entered another either fighter, or put them in a bad state. So yeah, that would have to take the cake for worst fight of Cobra Kai Season 3. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Leave your comments down below on what you think was the worst fight, and if you agree with me or not, or any comments I'd like, or opinions you'd like to share, I'd love to get back to you as soon as I can. I'd love to compare predictions and analysis together. Make sure you leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Share this video if you can. I'm sure someone out there would like and need to see this. And always, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and check out my other videos if you already have not. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Peace.